Danny Sufi with a good start off the 2x2 formation rolling start. Philip Lindberg held on to second place, even though Quentin Joseph was close behind. Joseph would lead a 3-car scrap. Brownson and Gizzy behind him, fighting it out for position. Quentin Joseph was certainly feeling some pressure from the rather more experienced John Brownson. Brownson looking for a way into third position. And sure enough, the number 3 would soon be P3 with this move into the first corner. But shortly thereafter, just a few moments thereafter, the 87 car came under attack again. This time from Christian Gizzy, and this time, unfortunately, they met in the middle at the apex of turn 3. The 87 spins back around. We are back in the right direction. Gizzy continued on. Meanwhile, at the front, Danny Sufi, some 6 seconds clear at the end of 2 laps of racing. The gap there illustrated on that camera shot from Jack Dixon, who is performing 2 different jobs, 2 different cameras in Jack's control this weekend. Our thanks to him for that. The battle continuing on between Racing Spirit of Le Mans, Gizzy and John Brownson, until a drive-through penalty was handed down to Racing Spirit of Le Mans. And the elder Gizzy Senior, had to serve a drive-through penalty just before the pit window. Also just before the pit window, the number 12 Racing Experience car having some issues out there on the circuit. Wolfgang Peyer seemingly struggling to find gears, not accelerating in the way it intended. And unfortunately, once it was in the pits, it did not come back out. The DKR Engineering car, however, would head back out onto the circuit, and of course it would do so with Lawrence Herr at the wheel. The diagnostics laptop was out down at the Racing Experience garage, and unfortunately, diagnosis was not optimistic enough to head back out onto the circuit. Philip Lindberg was pressing on, perhaps a little bit too much in the pit window phase of the race, just prior to the pit stop. That car rolling about of it a little bit, and we can see there some splitter damage on the front of that car being taped up. And we didn't see this live. We did speculate that the car maybe had some damage, and I think it might have even been the in-lap before the pit stop that the car went off track, based on the fact it was still spitting out gravel as he left the pit lane. No such issues though for Danny Sufi. He was lapping very well indeed in the sunshine, controlling the race. As he said, he's done 1,000 laps of this circuit in virtual conditions, and he has been showing that that practice has paid off so far this weekend. He was being closed up by some of the faster gold drivers, the likes of Lawrence Herr, towards the end of the race, but I think an element of that might have been Sufi just not pushing the envelope to the nth degree as he controlled the race from the lead. Philip Lindberg would have to settle for 4th position behind this man, Quentin Joseph, in 3rd place. DKR Engineering's Lawrence Herr managed to take 2nd position, of course, for his team, the number 3, he and John Brownson. But try as he might, press as he did, no one could catch Danny Sufi. In the number 1, Conrad Motorsport Ligier, he was in control at the front. Unfortunately, Philip Lindberg out of control on the final lap, having a little bit of a spin, but gathering the car back up. Danny Sufi, though, took the checkered flag for the 3rd time in 3 races in the 2025 Prototype Winter Series. It is the number 1 Ligier that will be represented on the top step of the podium. Danny Sufi wins the race, and wins the race by 17 seconds over Lawrence Herr. David Drew in 3rd position ahead of Philip Lindberg. Lindberg in 4th place, Vincent Gizzy along with Christian taking 5th place, and Wolfgang Peyer registered there 6th in the standings, but of course will be a non-finisher after the car did not return to the circuit for Matthias Jakobsen.